Happy, happy, happy Pride Month, my dear friends. We're taking a little break from the TCM Classic Film Festival Marathon for a review, which won the Patreon poll of Pride movies for this month. And what a great winning selection, I must say. For we are talking about Maurice, pronounced like Morris, not Maurice, which I first made that mistake when I first read that title as a kid, which is only natural. Released by Merchant Ivory Productions, one of the many masterworks produced by the company, which was on its high point in the 80s. Let me tell you, with the great success of The Bostonians, A Room with a View, and now Maurice, with a couple of moderate successes in the UK in the previous years as well. Directed and co-written, of course, by the masterful James Ivory, we have two young male friends, Clive and Maurice, portrayed by Hugh Grant and James Wilby, respectively, who happen to go to Cambridge together around the beginning of the 20th century. After a while of attending university, the two's friendship really blossoms and the two can't help but fall in love with each other. I might as well talk this way the whole review. Would you like that? No? Okay, I'll just stay in my regular voice. The two keep their love as a secret from others, even though they know and feel their love for each other is strong and actually not necessarily too non-sexual. However, it does progress over time. But once Lord Risley is arrested for soliciting sex from a soldier, Clive breaks off the loving relationship and furthermore decides to marry Anne, played brilliantly by Phoebe Nichols, and bringing on the ultimate dagger of inviting Maurice to the wedding. Things go on the deep end. Maurice is obviously broken in pieces and seeks help from a doctor, in this case, Ben Kingsley, as Dr. Lasker Jones, to cure his homosexuality. Based on the novel by E.MM Forster, of course, we have such a phenomenal film adaptation that feels so close to the source material that Forster himself would be so proud of its execution. Everything produced in this film is truly rewarding and powerful, from its gorgeous production design, shooting directly on location, its script adaptation, its gorgeous Academy Award nominated costume design, Richard Robin's brilliant and tender score, and absolutely the performances from James Wilby and Hugh Grant, who honestly have never been better. I still say Hugh Grant's performance here as Clive is probably his best performance. Challenge me on that. Their chemistry together is so precious and believable that it is truly soul-shaking. Grant and Wilby actually worked together before on a film called Privilege, which came out 5 years previously. So the two worked heavily on their audition together for the film, including the intimate scenes. Every scene they have together is a perfect blend of fun, sweetness, sophistication, and silent tragedy. This review will contain spoilers, I must say, so I suggest watching the film ASAP before finishing this. So, you've been warned, but I will say I never expected how the second act shifts, with Maurice becoming involved with Scudder, played wonderfully by Rupert Graves. I remember when I first saw it when I was in college, and I did not expect that to come into play, honestly. And it's such a great test for Maurice to live truthfully in who he is, having pride for himself as a homosexual man. But of course, this is Cambridge, conservative times of 1909, and every force surrounding him is telling him to change from the inside out, that it's a sickness, and it's a horrible shame that issues like these are still happening across the globe, that people are still looking at this as if it is a sickness. Amazingly and tragically enough, its own author, E.MM Forster, did not want the book to be published during his lifetime for fear of what would happen to his career, given to the legal attitudes of homosexuality at the time. The rights of the book were actually owned by Cambridge University and refused to give up the rights for purchase and be made into a film, not because of the subject matter, apparently, but because the book was inferior in comparison to Forster's other works. The school relented after the assured and faithful success of A Room with a View, indeed, and James Ivory's sensitive direction gives this film such a beautiful touch that any broken heart is healed, and yet broken again with its dangerous conflict. but healed again, because it seems that voices are heard when Maurice and Clive are confronting each other, and Maurice wants to kill and embrace Clive at the same time when he tries to break up with him. Voices are heard when Scudder gives up everything in order to stay with Maurice, even though it's unsure where their future will be. Voices are heard when Maurice battles with conversion of his sexuality. The film touches on everything universal that makes it just as powerful today as it was in 1987, right when AIDS was killing massive amounts of lives. Grant and Wilby are, again, brilliant in their roles, which came at the right time where Grant was considering giving up acting. The two actors won Best Actor at the Venice Film Festival, but the whole ensemble deserves shout-outs, which is a fantastic cast as you would expect in an Ivory merchant film, with Simon Callow, I love that man, DENHOLM ELLIOTT, who is equally amazing, BILLIE Whitelaw, and even an uncredited Helena Bonham Carter at a cricket match. One thing James Ivory was always a master on was atmosphere. Every film he made looked absolutely gorgeous and handsome, so true to the period and silently eloquent in its drama that you could watch it all day long. Considering its time of release and importance, the film received rather mixed reviews at the time of 1987, with most gay English critics denouncing the film, mostly out of fear because this was still the conservative 80s in some respect, to being praised as Ivory's best film to date. However, today, the film is revolutionary. The Guardian described it in a retrospective in 2017 as undervalued in 1987 and underseen in 2017. And for the gay community, it has made such an imprint on gay lives and pride, becoming a modern classic. All in all, folks, I give Merchant Ivory's Maurice an A. James Ivory has said he had men come up to him and say, "You changed my life because of this film." As an artist, you think, how much is that worth? It's priceless. But of course, the story in of itself, the creation of it by the great and monumental E.M. Forster, is all to give praise for the progression of what we now have as a strong foundation of gay cinema. Still a long way to go, but the foundation is certainly a strong and valued one. But my friends, please tell me, what do you think of Maurice? Please listen in the comments below. Share with all your friends. If you like this, please click like, subscribe, and stay tuned for many more reviews to come. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Pride Month, and please remember to love one another. Choose love always.